You know, in any clinic, creating those diagnostic reports can be a real drag. It's a huge bottleneck, right? It's slow, it's tedious, and it pulls skilled professionals away from what they do best, patient care. But what if that whole reporting process could just happen automatically? Well, today, we're going to dig into a specialized piece of tech, the FSSR Workstation, that's doing exactly that for ultrasound reporting.
All right, so here's the game plan for the next few minutes. First, we'll tackle the problem itself, that manual reporting bottleneck. Then, we'll look at the clever solution, a smarter way to connect data, and see the new workflow in action. We'll literally watch reports build themselves, talk about how this whole system can grow with your clinic, and finally, wrap it all up by looking at the professional impact this tech can have.
Okay, so first things first, let's really get into this core challenge, the manual bottleneck. So just picture the old school workflow for a second. After a scan, a sonographer has to sit down and manually type out every single measurement, every patient detail, every little observation into a report. Seriously, how much precious time just gets eaten up by that one simple repetitive task? And that right there is the heart of the problem. This manual process, it isn't just slow. It's a massive potential point of failure. I mean, think about it. One single mistyped number, a tiny transcription error, could have some really serious consequences. It doesn't just slow down a diagnosis, it introduces a risk that, let's be honest, is just not acceptable in healthcare. So, the big question is, how do we fix this? Well, the answer is pretty cool, actually. It's all about creating a much smarter connection for our data. Let's take a look at the tech that makes this all possible.
Okay, so the magic ingredient here is something called DICOM-SR. That stands for Structured Reporting. Now, the easiest way to think about this is like a smart file. It's not just a picture of the ultrasound, it's a whole data package. It actually bundles the image together with all the measurements and text, right from the machine, into one neat, organized file that a computer can read and understand in a flash.
And let me tell you, the difference here is like night and day. A regular old image file, it's just the picture. That's it. You still have to copy all the important data by hand. But a DICOM-SR file, that's the whole shebang. It's the picture plus all the measurements, all the text, all bundled up together. You don't need a person to be the middleman anymore. The data is already structured and ready to go. All right, so how does this smart data actually change things on the ground, day to day in a clinic? Let's see this new workflow in action, because this is where it gets really interesting. The new process is honestly beautifully simple. So step 1, the sonographer does their thing, capturing the images and measurements. Step 2, the ultrasound machine sends everything. We're talking the images and that smart SR file straight to the workstation. Step 3, the workstation just automatically reads and understands that SR file. And finally, step 4, the finished report can be zapped over to a central PACS. That's the picture archiving and communication system for safekeeping. And this diagram really lays it all out. You can see the information just flows seamlessly from the ultrasound machine to the FSSR workstation. And notice what's missing? That whole manual data entry step? It's just gone. Poof! From there, the workstation sends the completed report over to the PACS server. It's a completely seamless digital trip from the initial scan all the way to the archive.
Okay, so we've seen how the data gets to the workstation. Now for the really cool part. Let's see what happens once it arrives. This is pretty much the main event, reports that build themselves.
So, first up, the whole patient study arrives at the workstation. You can see it right there in the interface. Every image, every data point from the exam, all sitting there in one place, just waiting.
And this is the magic moment. With just one single click on that Auto-Populate SR Data button, the whole system reads that DICOM-SR file and bam! It instantly fills out the entire report. Every single field. No typing, no double-checking numbers, just pure instant automation. And there you have it. The final result is a complete, totally customized report. Everything is slotted in automatically. The clinic's logo, the patient info, all of those crucial measurements pulled straight from the ultrasound, the images, even trending graphs. I mean, a task that used to take minutes and minutes of careful typing now happens in literally a second. Okay, that is seriously impressive, right? But I know what you might be thinking. Will this work for my clinic? Is it flexible enough? Great questions. Let's talk about how this system scales. The beauty of this system is that it's designed to be totally modular.
So, if you're a smaller practice, you can start with the simplest setup imaginable. Just one ultrasound machine talking directly to one FSSR workstation. It's a really powerful, self-contained solution.
But here's the great part. As your clinic grows, the system just grows right along with you. You add another ultrasound machine, no problem. You just add another workstation. They each work on their own, so it's super easy to expand without having to tear up your entire network.
And for the big institutions, the large hospitals, yeah, it scales all the way up. These workstations can integrate perfectly into the bigger hospital ecosystem, connecting to a central PACS server for archiving and the hospital information system, the HIS, to manage patient work lists. It really becomes a full-blown, enterprise-level solution.
So, we've looked at the tech, the workflow, how it can scale, but what does it all mean? What's the so what? Why does this actually matter? Let's get into the professional impact. When you really boil it down, the benefits are huge. For one, the workflow for your staff becomes way more comfortable and efficient. Two, you completely eliminate those manual keying mistakes, which is a massive win for patient safety. Patient records management gets a dramatic upgrade. The clinic itself just looks more professional. And you get all of this with reports and templates that you can customize however you want.
I mean, just take a look at the final reports themselves. They're so sleek and professional, right? Super clean, well-organized, and easy to read. All customized with the clinic's own branding. This kind of thing really elevates not just the clinic's professional image, but the entire patient experience. And that flexibility is also absolutely crucial. These reports can be generated in different local languages, and you can include specific annotations or graphs. All of this makes the findings so much clearer and easier to understand, not just for other doctors, but for the patients themselves.
So, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this. You get much better patient records management and a truly professional presentation for your clinic. This isn't just about saving a few minutes here and there. It's about fundamentally raising the standard of care and communication.
So, we'll leave you with one final thought. In a world where accuracy and efficiency are everything, you have to ask yourself, is your current reporting workflow holding you back? Because automation like this, it's not really a convenience anymore. It's quickly becoming a clinical necessity.